Welcome, tennis fans, sport enthusiasts, and everyone tuning in from across the globe to what might just be the most electrifying and unexpected narrative to hit the grass court season in recent memory. If you thought the lead up to Wimbledon this year was going to be business as usual, a quiet procession of the usual suspects fine-tuning their serves and volleys before stepping onto the sacred lawns of the All England Club, you were absolutely mistaken. A seismic shockwave has just rippled through the WTA Tour, and it originates from the picturesque courts of the Bad Homburg Open in Germany. We are talking about a generational collision, a partnership that no one saw coming but absolutely everyone is now obsessing over. On one side of the net, you have the boundless energy, the meteoric rise, and the fierce, unyielding ambition of 21-year-old Filipino sensation Alexandra Eala. On the other side, sharing the same side of the court, stands royalty, a living legend, a woman whose very name is synonymous with Wimbledon glory, a trailblazer who has defined the modern era of women's sports, the 46-year-old icon, Venus Williams. Together, they have just sent a terrifying message to the rest of the locker room, securing a massive, commanding victory in their doubles debut. And let me tell you, the Wimbledon rivals are watching, and they are officially worried. To understand the magnitude of this moment, we have to look at the sheer context of what is happening in the tennis world right now. We are on the very precipice of Wimbledon, the most prestigious, history-drenched tournament in the sport. The grass court swing is notoriously brief, highly specialized, and incredibly unforgiving. Players have just a few precious weeks to adapt their footwork, flatten out their ground strokes, and adjust to the unpredictable, lightning-fast bounce of the turf. Every single match played in these tune-up events like Bad Homburg is scrutinized for clues about who is in form, who is struggling, and who is carrying that elusive championship aura. Enter Venus Williams. Venus has nothing left to prove to anyone. She is a 7-time Grand Slam singles champion, with 5 of those beautiful Venus rose-watered dishes won on the center court of Wimbledon. She is a 14-time Grand Slam doubles champion. But she is not in Germany just for a farewell tour or a nostalgic victory lap. Venus is on a mission. She is using the Bad Homburg Open as a hyper-focused, strategic warm-up for one of the most highly anticipated comebacks in the history of sports. A reunion with her sister, Serena Williams, in the Wimbledon doubles draw, marking Serena's return to the sport after a 4-year hiatus. Venus needs match play. She needs sharpness. She needs the heat of competition. And who did she choose to partner with to get that crucial match rhythm? She didn't pick a fellow veteran. She didn't pick a traditional doubles specialist. She handpicked one of the most dangerous, fast-rising young stars on the WTA Tour today, Alex Eala. At just 21 years old, Eala is riding a wave of momentum that is turning heads globally. She has just broken into the world top 30 for the first time in her career, backed by an unbelievable grass court run that included massive top 10 victories over the likes of Elena Rybakina and Alina Svitolina in Berlin just days ago. She is carrying the hopes of the Philippines, transforming herself into a legitimate force on the fastest surface in tennis. So, when you put the supreme unparalleled experience and the massive wingspan and volleying prowess of Venus Williams next to the blistering baseline power, the youthful fearlessness, and the absolute red-hot form of Alex Eala, you create a tennis monster. You create a pairing that completely disrupts the psychological equilibrium of their opponents. And that is exactly what happened when they stepped onto the court against the formidable American-Australian tandem of Catherine Harrison and Alexandra Osborne. This wasn't just a match. It was a statement of intent. It was a masterclass in how to blend the wisdom of a seasoned champion with the explosive hunger of a rising star. The crowds packed into the stands in Germany, buzzing with the electricity that only a Williams sister can bring, mixed with the passionate, global fan base of Alex Eala. The atmosphere was incredibly tense, heavily laden with expectation. Could this cross-generational experiment actually work? Would they have the chemistry required for top-tier doubles, where communication and instinctive movement are everything? The answer, delivered in straight sets, was a resounding, terrifying yes. They dispatched Harrison and Osborne 6-3, 6-4, and the manner in which they did it is exactly why the rest of the field is currently scrambling to reassess their Wimbledon strategies. This was a victory that echoed all the way to London. It was a display of dominance, resilience, and sheer star power that proved this partnership is not a gimmick. It is a very real, very dangerous threat. And as we transition into the deep dive of how this match unfolded, what it means for both players, and the wider implications for the Wimbledon championships, buckle up, because the landscape of women's tennis has just experienced a major tectonic shift. Let us break down exactly what transpired on the grass courts of Bad Homburg, because the tactical execution of this match tells a much larger story than the final scoreline suggests. When Alex, Eala, and Venus Williams walked onto the court for their round of 16 clash, there were immediate questions about court positioning and communication. Doubles is a unique beast. It requires a synchronization that usually takes months, if not years, to perfect. You have to know where your partner is going to move before they even take a step. You have to understand how their spin affects the opponent's return. But right out of the gate, Eala and Williams look like they have been playing together for a decade. They burst out to an astonishing 4-0 lead in the very first set. Think about that for a second. In their first 4 games together, in a professional WTA 500 event, they absolutely blitzed a dedicated doubles team. The strategy was immediately apparent and devastatingly effective. Eala, riding high on her newfound confidence in top 30 ranking, anchored the baseline. Her ground strokes, particularly on the grass where the ball skids low and fast, were heavy, deep, and relentless. She was pinning Harrison and Osborne to back of the court, dictating the pace of the rallies with the exact same ferocious intensity she used to dismantle top 10 singles players in Berlin just a week prior. And waiting at the net, a looming, intimidating presence, was Venus Williams. At 46, Venus's court coverage and instinct at the net remain unparalleled. Her wingspan makes passing her a geometric nightmare. When Eala forced a weak, floating reply from the opponents, Venus pounced. The volleying was crisp, authoritative, and clinical. The 4-0 lead was a stark warning. If you allow Eala to dictate from back, Venus will finish you at the front. They eventually closed out the first set 6-3, surviving a brief pushback but never relinquishing total control. The second set, however, is where we learn the true character of this duo and why the Wimbledon locker room should be paying very close attention. Harrison and Osborne are professionals. They were never going to quietly fade away. They adjusted their tactics, targeting the seams in the Eala-Williams formation, and managed to secure a break, pushing ahead to a 3-2 lead. This is a critical juncture in any newly formed partnership. When the momentum shifts, when the opponents find their rhythm, do you crumble or do you communicate and counterattack? This is where the veteran presence of a 14-time Grand Slam doubles champion becomes invaluable. You could see Venus talking to Alex, calming the tempo, offering tactical tweaks, projecting an aura of absolute composure. They didn't panic. They didn't overplay. They immediately broke back to level the set at 3-all, halting the opponent's momentum dead in its tracks. From that point on, it was a display of sheer willpower and clutch tennis. At 4-all in the second set, the pressure was at its absolute peak. But this is the environment where both of these women thrive. Eala, despite her youth, has shown a remarkable ability to elevate her game in high-stakes moments throughout this grass court swing. And Venus has lived in high-stakes moments for the better part of 3 decades. They broke their opponents one final time. And then, in a moment of pure poetic justice, Venus Williams stepped up the line to serve out the match. With the cool, detached precision of a seasoned assassin, she closed the door. 6-3, 6-4. Game, set, match. But we have to look deeper than just the mechanics of the win. We have to look at what this partnership signifies for the broader narrative of the sport right now. For Alex Eala, this is a masterclass in career development. She is 21 years old. She is already making history for the Philippines, carrying the weight of a nation's expectations on her shoulders. Her singles game has reached an entirely new echelon this month by winning the WTA 125 title in Birmingham, reaching the second round at Queen's Club, and then executing that breathtaking, giant-slaying run to the semifinals of the Berlin Ladies Open. She has proven she belongs in the elite tier of women's tennis. But playing doubles with Venus Williams offers something that no coach, no training block, and no solo victory can provide. It offers proximity to greatness. Imagine being on the same side of the net as a woman who has fundamentally shaped the modern game. Eala is getting a real-time, in-match education on point construction emotional regulation, and the subtle, invisible arts of grass court tennis that only a 5-time Wimbledon singles champion can teach. Venus understands the turf better than almost anyone alive. She knows how the bounce changes as the tournament progresses and the grass wears down. She knows the exact angle required to hit a winning slice volley. By absorbing this knowledge, Eala is accelerating her own development exponentially. Eala has spoken about how Venus is a trailblazer, how she has done so much for women's sports. The reverence is there, but on the court, they are equals fighting for the same points. This experience is going to make Eala an infinitely more dangerous player when she enters the Wimbledon singles draw, where, let's not forget, she will be seeded for the very first time in her career. That is a massive milestone, and she is walking into it flanked by tennis royalty. Now, let us pivot to the other half of this equation, which is arguably even more fascinating. What does this mean for Venus Williams? Why is a 46-year-old legend who has achieved everything there is to achieve grinding it out in a WTA 500 doubles draw? The answer is Wimbledon, and the answer is Serena. The tennis world was brought to a standstill with the announcement that Serena Williams, who supposedly retired after the 2022 U.S. Open, is making a sensational comeback to play doubles with Venus at the All-England Club this year. The Williams sisters have won 14 Grand Slam doubles titles together. They have never lost a Grand Slam doubles final. They have won Wimbledon 6 times as a pair. Their legacy is untouched. But you cannot simply walk onto the grass at Wimbledon after a massive layoff and expect to dominate, even if your last name is Williams. The modern game is too fast, the players are too fit, and the margins are too small. Venus knows this. Her singles campaign in Bad Homburg ended early in a hard-fought 3-set loss to Irina Camelia Begu. She has struggled with injuries and a limited schedule in recent years. She needs repetitions. She needs to feel the pressure of a live scorecard. She needs to train her eyes to track the ball coming off the strings of today's power hitters. By partnering with Alex Eala, Venus is exposing herself to the highest level of contemporary pace and spin. Eala hits a heavy, modern ball. Practicing with her, playing alongside her, forces Venus to elevate her own reaction times. It sharpens her reflexes at the net. It is the perfect high-intensity laboratory for Venus to fine-tune her tools before she reunites with Serena. Furthermore, this partnership sends a psychological message to the rest of the Wimbledon doubles field. If Venus can step onto the court with a 21-year-old she has never played with before and seamlessly dismantle an established doubles team, it proves that her strategic mind and her hands at the net are as sharp as ever. It removes any illusion that the Williams sisters might be vulnerable due to age or inactivity. Venus is demonstrating that her tennis IQ is off the charts, that she can adapt to any partner, any situation, and still command the court. When she and Serena walk through those gates in London, they will not be looking for a nostalgic wave from the crowd. They will be looking for the trophy. And Venus's performance in Germany is the warning flare. Let's talk about the rest of the locker room. Why are the Wimbledon rivals worried? In professional tennis, players constantly analyze their potential draws. They look at who is in form, who is injured, and who poses a specific matchup nightmare. The emergence of Eala as a grass court titan in singles is already giving the top seeds nightmares. No one wants to see a confident, big-hitting, unburdened 21-year-old in their section of the draw, especially one who just took out Rybakina, a former Wimbledon champion. But now, you add the fact that Eala is being mentored in real time by Venus Williams. You add the tactical knowledge she is absorbing. Eala is becoming a dual threat. She is scheduled to play doubles at Wimbledon with Nikola Bardonkova, another rising star. That pairing will be incredibly dangerous, fueled by the momentum and the lessons Eala is gathering right now in Bad Homburg. And then there's the looming shadow of the Williams sisters in the doubles draw. The established doubles teams, the specialists who play together week in and week out, rely on their chemistry and their practice routines to win majors. The sudden insertion of Venus and Serena into the draw throws a massive wrench into those plans. The sheer star power, the intimidation factor, and the undeniable historical weight of playing against the Williams sisters on grass is enough to make even the most seasoned professionals tighten up. Venus's victory with Eala proves she is physically ready, mentally sharp, and hungry for competition. It validates the comeback. It makes the threat real. We also have to appreciate the beautiful juxtaposition of this bad Homburg partnership. It is a visual representation of the passing of the torch, yet a defiant refusal from the older generation to leave the stage. Venus Williams turned pro in 1994. Eala was born in 2005. Venus had already won multiple Grand Slams before Eala even picked up a tennis racket. The generational gap is staggering. Yet, sport is the ultimate equalizer. Between the white lines of the tennis court, age, resume, and history are stripped away. All that matters is the ball, the racket, and the execution in the present moment. Watching Eala's modern, explosive baseline game harmonize with Venus's classic, aggressive net play is a treat for purists and casual fans alike. It bridges two distinct eras of women's tennis, creating a hybrid style that is proving incredibly difficult to deconstruct. The Bad Homburg Open has historically been a great indicator of Wimbledon success. It requires the same low center of gravity, the same aggressive mindset, and the same ability to serve accurately under pressure. In their match against Harrison and Osborne, Eala and Williams showcased all of these traits. They didn't just rely on power. They used angles. They didn't just rely on baseline bashing. They utilized the drop volley and the lob. It was a complete, multidimensional performance. And as they prepare to face the second-seeded pair Teresa Milikova and Olivia Nichols in the quarterfinals, the difficulty level will undoubtedly increase. Milikova and Nichols are a highly ranked, cohesive unit. They will target Venus's movement. They will try to rush Eala. They will not be intimidated by the names on the scoreboard. This upcoming quarterfinal will be the ultimate litmus test. Can the raw talent and sudden chemistry of Eala and Williams overcome a seeded, established team? If they win, the hype train will completely derail into uncharted territory. It will signal that Eala is ready to conquer the world, and that Venus is more than ready for her Wimbledon reunion. Even if they lose, the purpose of this partnership has already been served. Eala has gained invaluable experience, confidence, and a lifelong memory. Venus has gained match toughness, rhythm, and a crucial baseline for her physical readiness. The ripple effects of this single match in a tune-up tournament are vast. It highlights the shifting tides in women's tennis. We are witnessing the rise of a new global superstar in Eala, a player who is bringing unprecedented attention and passion from the Philippines to the highest echelons of the sport. Her journey from the Rafa Nadal Academy to the top 30 of the WTA rankings is a testament to incredible work ethic and undeniable talent. She is no longer just a prospect. She is a present-day contender. And simultaneously, we are witnessing the enduring, unyielding legacy of Venus Williams. At an age where almost every other professional athlete has long since retired the commentary booth or the golf course, Venus is still out there, grinding through practice sessions, putting her body on the line, and competing with the fiercest competitors in the world simply because she loves the battle. This is what makes tennis so incredibly captivating. It is the unscripted drama. It is a collision of storylines. Nobody could have predicted that a 21-year-old Filipina and a 46-year-old American icon will become the most compelling story of the pre-Wimbledon swing. But here we are. They are forcing analysts to rewrite their predictions. They are forcing opponents to study tape. They are reminding us that on a grass court, anything is possible if you have the courage to swing freely and the wisdom to know when to strike. The dynamic between Eala and Williams is a fascinating study in mutual respect. Eala provides the legs, the baseline firepower, and the youthful exuberance that can re-energize a veteran. Venus provides the tactical genius, the calming presence, and the championship aura that can elevate a young player to new heights. As we look ahead to the next few weeks, the storylines are perfectly set. Wimbledon is going to be an absolute spectacle. The women's draw is wide open, arguably more than it has been in years. You have established top 10, you have returning champions, and now you have this massive wildcard element injected by players like Eala, who have proven they can dismantle anyone on their day. Eala's singles campaign at Wimbledon will be watched by millions, with a whole nation holding its breath every time she tosses the ball to serve. And then, the doubles draw. The return of Serena Williams alongside a battle-tested, match-sharp Venus. The atmosphere at the All-England Club when the Williams sisters walk out for their first-round match is going to be deafening. The ticket demand will be astronomical. And when that moment happens, when Venus steps up to hit her first volley, remember the work she put in at Bad Homburg. Remember the partnership with Eala that helped sharpen the blade. This is a story of preparation, of mentorship, of breaking boundaries, and of the relentless pursuit of greatness. It is a reminder that the sport of tennis is constantly evolving, yet deeply rooted in its history. Eala represents the bright, explosive future. Venus represents a majestic, foundational past. Together, in the present, they are an unstoppable force. The victory over Harrison and Osborne was not a fluke. It was a demonstration of a perfectly balanced alliance. The power was there, the finesse was there, the mental toughness was there. The way they navigated that tricky second set, holding their nerve when the momentum threatened to swing away, spoke volumes about their collective resilience. As we move closer to the quarterfinals, the tension will only mount. Every point will be analyzed. Every tactical adjustment will be scrutinized. Can they maintain this level? Can they handle the increased pressure from a seeded team? Regardless of the outcome of their next match, the narrative has been established. Eala has arrived, and she has the endorsement and the partnership of one of the greatest to ever play the game. Venus Williams is ready, and she is sending a loud, clear message to London. The grass court season is short, but its impact is everlasting, and the chapter written by Eala and Williams in Germany will undoubtedly shape the drama that is about to unfold at Wimbledon. The rivals are right to be worried. When you combine the hunger of youth with the mastery of experience, you create something that cannot easily be defeated. You create history in the making. As we bring this deep dive to a close, let's take a moment to truly appreciate the magnitude of what we are witnessing. We are incredibly privileged as fans of the sport to watch this unique intersection of eras unfold right before our eyes. The Bad Homburg Open have provided us with a storyline that feels almost cinematic in its perfection. The young prodigy, Eala, fresh off the biggest singles victories of her life, teaming up with her childhood idol, the legendary Venus Williams. This isn't just about tennis. It's about the transmission of legacy. It's about a veteran generously sharing her vast reservoir of knowledge with the next generation, and a rising star bravely stepping up to prove she belongs on the same court as greatness. Their opening victory was a spectacular display of complementary skills. Eala's modern baseline aggression marrying perfectly with Venus's timeless brilliance at the net. They didn't just win a match. They commanded the court, overcame adversity in the second set, and proved that their partnership is built on genuine tactical synergy, not just star power. Looking forward, all eyes now remain fixed on their upcoming quarterfinal clash against the tough second-seeded duo of Milikova and Nichols. This will be the true test of their mettle, a match that will require every ounce of Eala's speed and Venus's strategic genius. But whatever happens in that quarterfinal, the primary objective has already been achieved with flying colors. For Eala, this experience is invaluable armor as she marches toward her first-ever seeded appearance at Wimbledon. She is absorbing the aura of a champion, learning how to carry herself in the high-stakes environment of the grass court season, and proving to the world that she is a multi-dimensional threat. She is carrying the flag for Philippines with incredible grace and terrifying power. And for Venus Williams, this is exactly the tune-up she needed. She looks sharp, she looks hungry, and she looks ready. The rust has been shaken off. Her net game is as lethal as ever. This performance is the perfect springboard as she heads to London for that highly anticipated, emotional, and historic reunion with Serena Williams. The rest of the tour is on high alert. The veterans are preparing for the Williams sisters, and the singles draw is nervously eyeing Eala. The stage is set for a Wimbledon championship that promises absolute fireworks. Keep your eyes on the grass, ladies and gentlemen, because the drama has only just begun. Thank you so much for joining me for this extensive breakdown. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you stay tuned because the tennis world is moving fast, and we will be here to cover every massive upset, every historic triumph, and every incredible moment to come. Until next time, enjoy the incredible tennis coming our way. And goodbye for now.